What's up, everybody? My name is Kier, and you are watching the important things that really matter. Today, we're going to be talking about Men and Women Beware Part 4. Men and Women Beware Part 4. What you have to do is you need to get rid of some of the friends that you be hanging with. Previous videos that I had, I talked about how some women will keep you out in the street, ladies. They'll keep you out in the street. They will even encourage you to screw around on your good man at home. Some of your girlfriends will encourage you to screw around on your good man at home, encourage you to screw around on your husband. Man, I was telling you also too, you got your boys that act like HOEs that will encourage you to screw around on your woman. You got a good woman at home, and your boys encourage you to go to the strip club with them. They encourage you to screw around on them with the strip club. Yeah, well, what if you screw around with one of those strippers and get HIV? Nah. Yeah, what if you screw around with one of those strippers and get an HIV or get AIDS? Okay? Yeah, and your boy's the one that pulled you in there. Now, guess what? When you come up with HIV or AIDS, whether you're male or female, your boy who pulled you there or your girlfriend who pulled you in to do those crazy stuff, guess what? They're gonna all of a sudden disappear. They're not gonna have any responsibility to screwing up your relationships, male and females, or whether you get an STD from somebody. All right. Now, ladies, let me tell you, there was a woman, and this is an example of this. This is a very, very, very good example of this. There was this woman, fair use. There was a woman who was married. A woman who was married, that let her girlfriend, who basically in a nutshell was a HOE, let her girlfriend convince her to go to an underground party. The underground party was one of those parties. What was that? The underground party was one of those parties. So this single girlfriend convinced this married woman to go to this underground party, which was one of those parties where everybody goes to the party and screws around with everybody. Did you hear what I said? This particular underground party was one of those parties where everybody and mama was screwing around with everybody and their mama, okay? So, first of all, yes, it's her fault. It's the married woman's fault, but it's also the girlfriend's fault. If the girlfriend hadn't convinced the married woman to go to this underground party, she may not have went, but the girlfriend convinced her. So guess what ended up happening? So the wife went to a underground party, got to the underground party, screwed around with I don't know how many different people at the underground party. By the time the underground party was over with, which basically was one of those parties where if you feel like screwing around with somebody on the floor, you can screw them on the floor, or you screw them on the table, or you screw them wherever you feel like screwing at. It was one of those type of parties. So anyway, the woman who is married, who was convinced by her girlfriend, who basically in a nutshell was a HOE. This is the reason, ladies. This is the reason why married women should not be hanging with single women. Now, in the past, when great-grandma was around, great-grandma would advise you, hopefully advise you, to stay away from single women if you are a married woman. Okay? And basically, in a nutshell, great-grandma's dead. Great-grandma's not living anymore. So a lot of that wisdom left when she expired, okay? So married woman allowed her girlfriend to convince her to go to this underground party where they literally screwed around with anybody and everybody they wanted to. And before the party was over with, the woman who was married had screwed around with about 200 men and women. How much you want to bet her girlfriend was one of the women that screwed around with her too, okay? This is part of the reason why if you're a married woman, you shouldn't be hanging around single women. Your single girlfriends are going to convince you that their life being single is so much better than your life. It's not. It's a lie. If the woman is single, she's gonna be out there dealing with all these sicknesses, diseases out there that she can get. I recently seen a woman. She was on the internet talking about, this woman literally was talking about 3 or 4 different diseases that she done got from different men. And I'm like, first of all, why would you get on? I mean, it's a good thing that she said it, but why would you get on the internet and talk about the 3 or 4 diseases that you picked up from different men? You cannot allow your girlfriends, whether you're male or female, to convince you to keep you on the street and put you in environments where you can get some type of transmitted disease. And in this particular environment, let me tell you what's really screwed up, men and women. I hope you're listening. The single girlfriend that pulled her into one of these parties, that woman could have got any type of disease from any of those people there at the party. You follow me? Like I said, fair use, fair use, fair use. That married woman could have got a transmitted disease from any number of those people. The woman had been with 200 people or more in a 24-hour period. She could have got a disease from any one of those people, including her girlfriend, and brought that disease back home to her husband. Did you hear what I said? The woman could have got that disease from any one of those people at that party and brought the disease back home to her husband. Also, too, the woman could have possibly accidentally got pregnant by one of those people. She's not gonna know whose baby it was that got her pregnant. She's not gonna know. She's been with too many people in a 24-hour period. Since she married, her husband is gonna be automatically her husband. This woman don't even know who the father of the child would be, because she's been with too many people at the underground party. Could bring her husband back an STD, could bring her husband back a baby that's not even his. That's why I tell a lot of men, nowadays, if you have a child, I don't care if you have a child and that you've been taking care of that child for 20 years, you better go and get a DNA test on all of your children. You better go and get a DNA test on all of your children, so you know which children that you are raising are yours and which ones are not yours, okay? There was a newspaper article that was done in one of the Detroit newspapers a number of years ago, probably about 8 to 10 years ago. Newspaper. There's 3 different men. One guy had something like 5 kids by his wife, supposed to be childhood sweethearts. 3 of the kids were not his. Another guy, he had 3 kids. 1 of the 3 kids was not his. Another guy had 4 kids by his wife. 2 or 3 of the kids were not his. Are you following me? This is what I'm talking about, how you can save yourself a lot of time and a lot of money. There was an older white man who was a judge. This guy is about to retire. He come to find out that his sons, like I said, fair use, fair use, fair use. This older white guy, he was on the internet. You go look it up for yourself. Found out that his sons that he'd been raised for years, I think his sons were in their 40s. Found out that his 2 sons weren't even his. This man about to retire. He'd been taking care of 2 sons, and then he set up then the man made a good observation. He was like, I've been sitting up here taking care of 2 kids that were always in trouble. You have to understand the point that the man made. They were always in trouble, always in some type of stuff he had to try to get them out of. You know why? Because the DNA from the men that got his wife pregnant was probably these Pookie, Ray Ray, Chad type of guys. And so you got somebody that's got bad genes, or they're the type of person that could commit crimes, or one of these type of guys is trying to screw everybody all the time. And this is the reason why he was always getting his son, trying to get his sons out of trouble, or always have to try to get them out of some mess. Do you follow me? Ladies, people's DNA transfers to their children. If you lay down with a Pookie, don't be surprised if you come up with a Pookie Jr. that's in and out of jail, always committing crimes, doing all types of crazy stuff. You lay down with somebody that has these characteristics, that stuff's going to transfer to the children. You need to keep all this stuff in, like I said, men and women, beware. You go to some of these parties, you might pick up some type of STD, or the person might get pregnant, come back to the husband, come back to the boyfriend, come back to the girlfriend, whatever you want to call it. Then say either the kid is his or hers, and when it's not, or bring back some type of transmitted disease. One of the other videos, the first video I did, said that in Texas, Houston, Texas, in 1 week's time period, 42,000 cases, new cases of STDs were reported in 1 week's period. 42,000 new STD cases reported in a 1 week period. Did you hear that? Please like, please share, please subscribe. Please like, please share, please subscribe, and peace.